Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope you guys are all doing well. I understand that the coronavirus pandemic has definitely put a rift in all of our plans in the world right now, but I hope everybody's doing well. Just remember to stay positive, because one day when we're all working a regular-ass job, I promise you, you're gonna look back on this time and wish you had all of this free time back. If you do have free time. I do myself, but I don't know. Anyways, I hope you guys do really, really good on your speeches. I'm looking forward to hearing everybody's speeches. Good luck. I'm going to go ahead and begin mine now. The thrill of going fast. It's not a thrill that we get to experience very often. Now, we get into a car every day and we're going 45, 50 miles per hour. Fairly slow. But imagine if you got to go 200 miles per hour and you got paid to do it. Millions and millions of dollars in front of hundreds of thousands of fans just to go 200 miles per hour. Sounds pretty simple, right? Well, NASCAR isn't quite that simple. I just described to you NASCAR, drivers going in a circle for 3 hours on a Sunday, going 200 miles per hour. Now, like I said, going in a circle. Not everybody finds NASCAR interesting, and that's perfectly okay. I'm not here to persuade you to love NASCAR, but I'm here to tell you why NASCAR really truly is such an interesting sport. And as an avid fan, since I was 7 years old, I've been to 10 NASCAR races and even spent time in the NASCAR garage. In order to understand the thrill of watching a NASCAR race, one should first understand the risk behind racing, what drivers go through during a race, and the benefits of being a fan. Now, for starters, NASCAR is by no means safe. Every time that we as regular people get into a car, we put our lives on the line. NASCAR drivers do that times 10. They go 200 miles per hour, and every single time they get in the car, there is always risk. Now, that's not to say that NASCAR is not safe. NASCAR is a very safe sport, but there's always that risk when getting into a car, whether it's a stock car or whether it's a Hyundai 2004. It does not matter what car you're getting into to drive, there is always risk. And in NASCAR, some of those risks can be very, very dangerous. For example, in February 2020, NASCAR driver Ryan Newman flipped on the final lap of the Daytona 500, NASCAR's biggest race. In that flip, the entire top of the car crashed down on him, and he was forced to go to a hospital to receive medical care, where it was found out that he only had a bad concussion. Now, I say only, obviously that concussion is still very serious, but if you go back and watch the video, which you can, it is up on YouTube. If you go back and watch the video, that was a very serious crash, and a lot of people thought he may have been dead. And it's a testament to NASCAR's safety for these drivers. But it also shows why people watch these races. They watch for crashes like that, where it's a big ball of flames and the driver's able to walk away and everything is okay. Obviously, that one was a different circumstance, but there have been plenty of others that make NASCAR drivers and NASCAR fans very excited. NASCAR drivers don't get excited. That was my fault. But fans can get very, very excited about these flips. It's something that everybody loves. And according to author M.D. Howell, the inherent violence and potential death for its competitors causes the fans to take part in behaviors that reflect the inherent mood of the things they watch. Now, with that, he's talking about some of the traditions that NASCAR has. NASCAR does have a lot of traditions, and those traditions are something that we are always welcome to share. For example, obviously, a lot of NASCAR fans drink beer. It's a pretty redneck sport. Everybody knows that, but it's always a good time when you're at a NASCAR race. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is, while the risk of crashing is very high, there are many other things that make driving in NASCAR so very difficult. NASCAR is not an easy sport, and to be a NASCAR driver, it is extremely difficult. It's hard enough driving a car, because when the first time you got into a car, you probably weren't very good at it, and you probably needed some help. Does anybody know how to drive stick shift? Well, NASCAR's a stick shift car, so if you don't know how to drive stick shift, you already don't know how to drive a NASCAR. But NASCAR is so much more than just driving a car. These are heavy hunks of machinery driving at 200 miles per hour. These cars are fast, and they are hard to control. Could you imagine trying to control a car at 200 miles per hour? It's not very easy. The back end can kick out on you very easily. You can spin out, and there's so much risk with all of that. And to give you guys an example, according to NASCAR driver himself of the number 22 Shell Pennzoil Ford, Joey Logano, maintaining that level of concentration is probably what grinds you on, as much as anything else. Everyone knows a driver has a pit crew, but that's only a small fraction of the people needed to make his machine go. Now, what he means by that is there is an entire shop behind the scenes that has to build these cars. There are hundreds of workers for each and every race team, and you only get to see the product of that one person and his pit crew, but there is way, way more people that are involved in that. Joey also said, to take it back to a comparison I hear all the time about driving fast on the highway. Well, imagine driving as fast as you can on the highway and doing it for hours without letting up. That's exactly what NASCAR is. Imagine driving 500 miles per hour, never being able to get out of the car and go to the bathroom, blow your nose, anything like that, constantly going 200 miles per hour. It sounds pretty difficult, right? It is very difficult. But what makes NASCAR so appealing to the fans? Because yes, the drivers are important, but obviously the fans are too. And NASCAR is extremely appealing to the fans. It's also not just about the drivers. It's also about the fans. Being a NASCAR fan has many benefits that other sports cannot offer, that the NFL and the MLB are unable to offer. To give a great example, right now, during the coronavirus pandemic, the NFL, the NBA, not the NFL, excuse me, but the NBA, the MLB have been forced to halt their seasons because of the coronavirus pandemic. And while NASCAR has also been forced to halt their season, believe it or not, they're still racing on a virtual platform, of course, but they've still been able to put on a show for their fans, and the fans have had something to watch. Something that a lot of NFL, NBA, MLB fans can't really say the same thing about right now, besides repeats from 10 years ago. Now, coronavirus has really complicated NASCAR, but iRacing has really upped it a notch, and it makes such an exciting experience for the fans. Also, I would like to talk about overtime finishes in NASCAR. One of the big things NASCAR implemented is overtime finishes. These finishes are huge, and basically what it means is the race cannot end under caution. It has to end under a green flag. And what's best about that is racing and action. And racing legend Mario Andretti has said that he applauds them for implementing that, simply because it's more racing and more thrill and excitement for you, the fans. Finally, the reason why NASCAR is so thrilling, the experience at the track. For example, Phoenix International Raceway actually just went under an entire improvement to their entire facility, and I just went there recently. Very beautiful place. And according to USA Today article written by Mike Henby, the project will add 45,000 grandstand seats, 54 suites, including 3 in the garage area. And the best part about that whole thing, the garage is now wide open for the fans. I've been inside the garage. You can go in, you can look, and it is one of the coolest things. And that's why NASCAR is important to its fans. Now, in conclusion, NASCAR is always a risky sport. It can put their drivers through a lot, but it adds to a great fan experience that NASCAR provides. What NASCAR does so differently than sports like the NFL and the MLB is it makes you feel like such a part of the sport. You really feel as a fan as if you are making a difference with your voice when you speak it as a NASCAR fan. And you really truly feel as if you are a part of the sport. And I think everybody would love to feel a part of their favorite sport, and maybe one day NASCAR could be yours. Thank you. That was a little bit rough, but hope you guys are doing well. Good luck.